we're live. Here we go. Naruto 691. There's not very many more left. We're on the first page. Is there anything you guys want to talk about on the first page? I mean, feel free. We're getting close to the end of the series, so.
Yeah, I didn't think it would come up so quick, personally.
Troy, you might want to back off from the mic a little bit. We're hearing like every. Yeah.
The first page, everybody's in awe of Kagurama. And the dead Hokage are talking. And talking about how amazing it is to see all the tailed beasts in one place like a fairy tale. That's pretty cool.
And Sakura. I knew it. I mean, he's actually floating, but at this point, I'm too exhausted to even be surprised. Well, I mean, he just watched Naruto floating around, Sasuke flying, and Kakashi flying. I don't even know what that dialogue is about.
Yeah, and she had to jump from somewhere to punch Kaguya.
Yeah, she was dropped out of the air.
Yeah.
I don't know what. People are flying. I'm freaking. No. So that dialogue wasn't the greatest. Okay, now we're. Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody was saying on the forums how like Sakura's dialogue is like representative of like the fans. Like I don't know, I'm just too exhausted to even care anymore.
Oh, really? Well, what was it? What was it? Somebody wrote something. Well, anyway, we could go ahead and push through. Okay, now I'm on the next page, which shows the all the tailed beasts. I like this. I feel I sit there and I go, you know, most of this I like. If it would have just slowed down and you know, but I mean, there's a lot of great stuff in here. There's some inconsistencies and stuff, but really enjoy a lot of it.
Yeah, this is a cool chapter. I think it was pretty nostalgic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I like how the Sage Six Cats like knows Kakashi. Like you're Kakashi, right? Like yeah. Like well done. Eating everybody successfully, sealing away Kaguya. Like those are amazing boss feats. Kakashi's like, nah, I didn't really do anything. You know, it was all them. I just kind of gave them the plan. You know, Obito kind of gave me his strength. And Six Cats is like, oh, but you led everybody, you did a great job, and you guided them all. And he's like, you know, I'll talk to Obito, and like, you know, it's just funny. He's like, I'm gonna talk to Obito.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of Obito in here, and there sure is. And then there's Naruto, and the whole thing with the tailed beasts.
It was kind of.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty amazing that he was able to get all the tailed beasts to cooperate with him willingly. But but with this big scene with all the tailed beasts and I guess those smaller figures, maybe the H guy did this drawing, but all these small guys around the former Kages.
Right.
Well, why are they there?
Well, supposedly it was for their power. Supposedly the Hokages, he helped to summon all the ex-Kages, so they had enough power to summon back everybody, the tailed beasts, because that's a heck of a lot of people that just get summoned back, and creatures. That's all they ask.
They could only. Oh, so you think they had contract seals with those beasts with the tail guys, and we needed to summon them back?
Well, that's an angle, but it looks like just power-wise. Because did you see the size of the summoning thing, on the ground?
Yeah.
And they've summoned them all back at once. I mean, you could go with that angle to throw that in there too, and maybe that's even more powerful. But I just went for power. Just they're using everyone's power to bring everybody back. But the idea that they have contracts with them makes sense. Sure. I'm on the part here with Naruto. I'm flying through. We can always go back and everything. But the thing with Naruto, I thought the parts with Naruto made sense. He's done a very good job with his humor, his being goofy, his being dumb. You know what I mean? It's really Naruto, and the whole thing about the tailed beasts. Kurama, the Nine Tails getting kind of embarrassed and all this kind of stuff.
I like he flipped them off.
Yeah. Definitely did. Gave him the big claw finger.
I like how Sage Six Path praises Naruto. He's like, even the tail beasts would of their own will desire to cooperate with you all because a ninja like this one has appeared. It's like, because Naruto has appeared, all the tail beasts are willing to cooperate with you. It's like, it's putting him on a pedestal. Thanks.
Yeah, it works because it could convince him that he was maybe not a genius in all the way around, but he had a good heart. Well, Troy, is there anything so far you want to jump in on? Like we the Hangouts, we'll always go back and backtrack. Is there anything so far you want to throw in, or Troy? Troy. Okay. All right. We'll move on. Yeah, let's go to the next page. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to read out as to say, Obito's return was also thanks to Naruto. Naruto brought him back. He's like, I see. I shall be sure to ask Obito about all that myself. And then when I look at the Sage's path, Hagoromo's face or whatever, I just pictured like an extra bubble saying, because Obito is the coolest guy. Don't you see that right there? Just like.
It could be. I'm going to be going soon. Well, one thing I noticed, and I guess I like this part, is when it seems like it's under Kakashi's perspective, he sees Obito as an adult. Both of them as an adult. And when it seems to be Obito's perspective, he sees them both as children. Which I think is a neat angle. Okay? Because Obito literally didn't grow up. Okay? He's still that kid.
That makes sense then, because he, I guess maybe he really was dead, you know. Because Naruto took everything from him.
It was and this goes to another thing: is Kakashi's ability. Is that it looks like it's gone. What Obito gave him is gone, right?
Yeah. It looks like Obito was possessing him the whole time, like inside of his body. So it was pretty much Obito's power.
Right. His last bits of his chakra, I guess, it's it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Chakra.
Yeah, and then you see at the end, boom, it's gone. So that makes sense. That works. Of course, the thing is does he still have the double Sharingan? Does he still have the eyes, even though maybe they're not powered, and doing the same abilities? So I don't know.
But he says Kakashi of the Sharingan is finished, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, it's finished today. Yeah. So he's done. And then we go to Madara to get into his body. And I thought it was, I don't know, like I said, a lot of things are closed. They hit a lot of issues. I think that there's some of these things they could have done before. Like I said, the pacing that Kishi does, I don't like it. It's like this. You get a lot of things all in here. Or you just end it with chapters with just, fluff or whatever. So I wish you'd pace it out a little better. But anyway, so there's Madara. And the good old Sasuke, he knew what he was doing, and now he must suffer the consequences. Sasuke's he's a hard ass. There's no doubt about it.
He's also a hypocrite, since he isn't suffering any consequences.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Sasuke doesn't. He is a hypocrite. He doesn't. Yeah, he's definitely. But he seems to still have his abilities. What's the next thing? Is Naruto and Sasuke going to lose their abilities? They're going to lose part of them. They're going to lose all of them.
I don't think so. I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But they still need them now?
Well, to fight each other, which is what we're waiting for.
Do you still think that fight's going to happen?
I don't know. Well, look, what I've wanted for the longest time is Orochimaru to possess him and then take that route, but I don't know. I mean, I've heard some people say, "Hey, man, we might have 2 or 3 chapters, and we're done."
Yeah, this is starting to feel like it's going to be over in chapter 700 now.
So, yeah, I mean, this could be over quite rapidly. Because this is, I mean, like I say, the last two. I mean, am I wrong? The last two chapters seem like they've gone through pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I still don't think Sasuke's intentions have changed too much.
Yeah,
He still wants to change the ninja world order,
yeah.
and I don't know, but I don't know if that alone right now is enough for him to try to for him and Naruto have to have a significant fight. Because you saw, are you on page 10 by the way?
I'm actually on 13, but go ahead.
13.
Wherever you're at, go ahead.
But you saw earlier where he was rushing to take down Mads, and he was on his deathbed already. Just want to hurry him along. But Hiromu had to stop him. So I mean, I guess his intentions haven't changed that much. He's all about eliminating threats as quickly as possible.
Yeah, yeah. He is. He doesn't care about who gets hurt by it either.
Right. So but I don't know if that's enough for them to actually come to a fight now after they just saved the world. I mean, he should be happy enough now to go hang out with Hinata. No, not Hinata. Sakura, and let that be it. Or the other girl, the crazy girl.
Karen? Yeah, the fans would love that. God, could you imagine the Naruto spear? All the Naruto fans, if he ended up married with Karen. I think it's going to happen, but it'd be so hilarious. People would go ballistic. Good grief. And we've got the whole thing here, comrades, and, Madara's gone. So the first and whole Madara's thing, and then boom. His whole thing of not wanting people following behind him or whatever.
They ain't make much sense to me though.
Well,
Did he want the Uchiha to follow him?
If I was Uchiha, maybe yeah. I don't think he was all that wrong. I think he may have been a little bit murderous.
I
He wasn't all that
question
wrong.
I question the translation on this because I don't know if it's the way Kishi did it or just I feel like we're not getting whatever Madara was trying to say with this. I don't want people falling behind me or what. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite sound right, does it? So I just think some kind of translation or explanation would have to follow that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I would think that Madara had a successor, because as much as he was harping about his brothers and protecting them, you'd think he'd have a family of his own. Especially they made it to peacetime, and there are other Uchihas who idolize him. It doesn't make matter about a volume.
Well, the only way that Madara makes sense to me is he has the idea that he would rather rule hell than serve in heaven kind of deal. This guy is going to be running things, period. And that just seemed to be it. He was. I feel all the way through. He was a great villain. I thought, but
I
thought all the way through the guy was just about himself. He didn't. And he was awesome. I mean, that's a problem with it. You get somebody that's narcissistic and that awesome together just to justify it, right? So, I mean, yeah, it was
Then
pretty
we had
amazing.
Then we had the chapter of Madara yelling to Naruto, like, forget it. The world is at peace. Like, why are you trying to make more war? It's over. Just let Infant Tsukuyomi, bring peace to the world. So, he did have that part of his character that was just like Obito, that wanted to save the world, I guess you could say. So Madara was conflicting. It's confusing because, like you said, at times he's this domineering, never say die attitude, evil all the way, and then Kishi throw in hints of more hints of maybe he's actually got a good reason, just little things like that chapter, like I said. And then this chapter, he's not going out like a G, like I'm sure a lot of people think. He's basically saying, Hashirama, you were probably right. I probably went about it the wrong way. Oh well, let's go to the end, to the afterlife together as friends. That's pretty much what he's saying.
Yeah, well, they're gonna be able to meet over there and chat anyhow. So
the cool thing is, they had different points of view, they never stopped being friends in the end. So I think that part doesn't escape me, and I think Madara is more important to the chapter, more important to the story than Obito, because if he hadn't taken action, we wouldn't have Naruto wouldn't be a story.
Right. Well, chicken and the egg. I mean, without Madara, then Obito doesn't get led down that path. Or whatever. So,
Right. And without Obito, then Madara doesn't end up getting his plans fulfilled.
Right.
and then of course, who brought back Madara? So yeah,
So,
yeah. So it's interesting stuff. So now what I will, like I said in the review and everything, the whole thing, the way Naruto's been treated, just like I said here, but including the way his father, the goofy things he said to his father going away, all that seemed pretty legit to me.
Yeah.
Pretty true. So it was pretty good.
that was touching. I mean,
It was heartbreaking.
I really enjoyed Kushina. When Kushina died and she said all those things to baby Naruto, I thought that was an amazing moment. Like a mother and son moment, so heart-wrenching because she was leaving her child and she was dying. And then, just to bring that back, like, for Naruto to repeat the same words, and tell her the answers, I just thought that was a brilliant writing, like, to end the saga on his parents.
Yeah, it was really good. And then the whole happy birthday, Naruto.
Dad could even give him a hug, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no arms. Yeah, that was kind of rough. Not even, that was not even a stump. That was pretty rough. And then we go through, and then, like I said, then we go through the whole dialogue, and then I'm taking a bath basically every day. And,
almost every
throwing
day.
out all that stuff. Almost. Made a bunch of friends that are awesome, and then Sasuke's over there. So I don't know. There's definitely there's a lot of things that just didn't end up meaning anything, and then there's still questions. I thought that all this power together, while the Kages were there, that they were gonna do whatever it was needed to be done to tell Beast either turn them into people or into Dibby sort of people. I thought there was something was going to happen right there. So I don't know. That may be the big crux is what do you do with the Tell Beast now? Because otherwise, is everything just going to get started again? What's the solution? So
I mean, what do you do with them? Because I think I watched. Because I mean, if they, well, how do you stop from whatever from? How do you say? Excuse me. How do you stop everything that's happened in the Naruto verse from happening again if the Tell Beasts aren't either free or they occupy a body?
something's got to happen. Yes, something's got to happen. And the prophecy thing was they would be changed into something. He was going to change them into something better. So
I remember the tree hasn't been dealt with yet. So I mean, how do the people get out the tree?
well, has it been done? I don't know if we know. I don't know. I mean, there was nothing in here, about the tree. I would almost imagine that the tree would have attacked them and tried to swallow them. It may be just done. They completed that end and they summoned, them back, and that's it.
I mean, I imagine the tree is probably just gone, and everybody's probably waiting for them or something.
That's gonna be next week.
Yeah. But there's a lot of cliffhangers. We don't know, not cliffhangers. A lot of unfinished business with Kaguya. Why did she want an army? We don't know why she wanted an army. The Rikudo sending tools that Tenten found that Madara dropped. What about that? There's a bunch of things that Kishin needs to elaborate on. And I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's just sick of it and he's trying to end it as soon as he can.
It's gonna be. Hopefully, it's gonna be. Like I said, I've said this a couple of years ago. I think a couple of years ago I said something about this is gonna end. This is gonna be in something like Lost. It's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be as bad. I don't think it's gonna be quite as bad, but there's gonna be a lot of things that there's nothing. It's just that's done.
Yeah, because I think it will be very fulfilling for Hagoromo to stick around long enough and him to explain why his mom needed all those Zetsus, and maybe there's a Zetsu war, or maybe whatever enemy she had to deal with will be explained and defeated. But
Right.
I don't see that happening. There's been no hint of it. Because I mean, even Zabuza in chapter 50, almost 700 chapters ago, they explained his motivations and why he became the way he was, but not so much for Kaguya. Actually, every villain, they've done that. Even down to the snake dude, one of the Akatsuki guys, Hidan.
Right. What was?
So, remember Hidan? Hidan was he was a mercenary. He wound up injuring one of the Hokages, but he retired because he got old, you know. And then the guy Neji killed, not was it Neji?
Who are you talking about? Who retired?
No, remember there was old Akatsuki guy, Akatsuki. But his power was to steal hearts, and he took
Yeah.
his chakra natures.
Caucasus? Caucasus?
Yeah,
Kakazu or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kukuzu or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely don't go for me for pronunciation sake. You'll know the one way not to say it, but yeah, we know what you're talking about. That was a pretty awesome deal, though. I loved how that was. He actually fought. What was the first? But it was his clone. If I remember, like one of those Naruto website things or something, it talks about him or like him and Hedon, but he actually fought a clone of his and got so outclassed that I think that's what pushed him to becoming a zombie. It's like, I can't win like this,
Yeah.
And Hedon, too, that was an awesome character. But anyway, what are you driving to in this?
Well, I'm driving towards my last hope for the series. I mean, I've enjoyed the series, but I just want Kaguya's motivations to be explained. That's what I want right now. And hopefully,
why she needed an army of Zetsus and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and why she did it twice. She failed twice.
Does seem kind of important. And why did she go get why did she need the fruit to begin with? And she's from somewhere else. Where the hell is she from?
Right, because she could have got that fruit, but she could have materialized again, went to her dimension, and went on about her day. No one wouldn't have been able to do anything. She just kind of walked off like lost once she got a chance to come back. But no, she had to stay around and fight somebody she never meet before.
Right.
And get sealed.
DP Roberts said, I saw this as the top voted comment on Manga Stream. I feel bad for Tintin. There was supposed to be a plan for her to be useful when she got those items, tools, but in the end, nothing happened. Congratulations. And he says, just to finish it, the last sentence, he says, classic Kishimoto troll. Makes you think Tintin's going to be useful for once, and then nope, nada, zero, zip, LOL. Yeah, the tools,
Tintin.
the ninja tools, all that stuff. Yeah, so nothing there. But I don't know. Well, anyway, we can go at whatever you guys want to talk about Naruto-wise. A lot of it we've already covered, though. I almost feel like our predictions and stuff are like still ahead of where Kishimoto is with this manga.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we, yeah, go ahead.
I said, how about that Kakashi Sakura picture on page 17? Everybody's talking about them being a couple. Only because she caught Kakashi when he fell.
Right.
So she's holding him, whatever. It looks like she's got her arm on his chest and everything.
I called it first.
There it is. Yep. Yeah, they're together.
It would make sense, though.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Kashi deserves her. And Naruto, maybe he got over her by now. He did say He did say he couldn't say anything about the his girlfriend to his mom or his dad. He was like, about the girl I love, well, working on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it doesn't look like any ship, and that's another thing too. I guess all the shipping, because you guys remember, what was it, about 3 years ago? Now, do you remember the Narahina and Narasaka wars that went on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I wasn't on the YouTube wars. I was in the forum warring over.
God. I mean, it was intense. I haven't heard anything like that in a long time. I mean, people talk about it, but nothing before. It was just battles, and they're like, why Sakura would be, and why Hinata, and it all boiled down to the same thing. It was like, well, it makes more sense if it's Sakura, but your heart, it makes more sense to Hinata, and that's basically what everybody kept going on.
Well, Hinata just looked better.
But well, for me, it was just it was I just liked it, so. And Sakura, and then when Sakura, after the time skip, she just kind of went down the tubes anyhow. As far as
me,
my opinion, I think Hinata would make more sense because maybe it'd make less sense because they're kind of related. It'd be like the Brady Bunch.
Right.
She'd be like Marsha.
for me, Narusaku is something I came to after being a Naruhina fan. Because part one, I liked Naruhina. I loved the whole, medicine, the Neji, and all that whole scene. But Hinata was literally just left in the dust. And in her place, we had Naruto promising to Sakura that he would protect her, that he would get Sasuke back for her.
Yeah.
We had Sakura say how much she depends on him. Then we had the part 2 time skip where, she humors Naruto by going on dates with him, like to get food and stuff, and she jokes it off. They've been teammates for years. There was the whole thing with her in the Kyuubi, how she was willing to sacrifice herself for Naruto. Then there's the whole parallel with Jiraiya, how Jiraiya didn't get the woman he loved. So, you would think Naruto would. Then there was Sai. Sai said, that Naruto truly loved Sakura, and that, Sakura, I forget what else he said. But, there was a lot of stuff with Narusaku. And I thought for sure that that's where Kishi was headed, that Naruto would get the girl he wants, and that Sakura would come to love Naruto. Then, all of a sudden, after Sasuke attempted to kill her the 3rd time, she just started going back to her part 1 self, and, daydreaming over Sasuke and Sasuke-kun, and I'm sick of it now. I'm like, what the hell? This girl's just as crazy as Karen.
Well, if she did marry, if Sakura and Naruto did get married, they have a baby, and it's got Sharingans. They're like, oh, how the hell? How did our baby get Sharingans there? Maybe Sasuke's wandering around, I mean, she's you know what I mean? It's all of a sudden it's our son's Sharingans have awakened. What? How did this Sakura? What do you? Yeah. So we all know what's going to happen there.
It makes Sakura have a baby with Naruto and have a baby with Sasuke, and then have the 2 babies get together and they'll make a Rinnegan baby.
No, I think the way you do that is it's got to be Naruto and Hinata, and then Sasuke and Sakura's offspring, and then you get the Rinnegan.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, we're making them like dogs here. That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, but at this point, it seems like that's what either girl is good for, hating, because I'll give Hinata credit. She had a good moment with the Pain chapter, when she, was willing to sacrifice herself for Naruto and show how much she's changed or whatever.
She's the only one who cared.
Yeah, Sakura really didn't get that highlight to me.
Yeah, Sakura knew he was getting killed out there fighting Pain.
Yeah.
All she did was watch.
Yeah,
to me, that goes a lot further.
But to me, it's like I weigh the Narusaku over the Naruhina, and there's been so much Narusaku hints, and so much development going towards that pairing, that, the 1 or 2 times that Hinata does something, even when Naruto was the hero of the village, he was with Sakura and she was punching him or whatever, and you had people in a circle around them going, woohoo, woohoo, like it's his girlfriend. And Kushina, find someone that's just like me. And Minato, when he first sees Sakura, he says, "Are you Naruto's girlfriend?" Just so much hinting that like I thought for sure. But now Sakura is throwing me for a loop because she's unless Kishi does some crazy thing where Naruto is about to die at Sasuke's hands or something, and Sakura realizes at the last minute that she loves him. Because otherwise, I don't see how that's going to work now, or if it is going to work, it's going to come off as retarded because everything has just been all screwed up pairing-wise, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and he said that he doesn't really care about it. Kishimoto's just used it as yet one more thing just to play around. He doesn't have any real interest in it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
In terms of the better personality, Hinata would be a better wife because she'd be doting on Naruto, and she would, be attending to his every needs and, be the kindest, sweetest person. And
He'd balance him out.
Yeah, and Sakura would be that goofy anime Sunagir chick that just beats up her husband whenever she feels like it, whenever he pisses her off. So
you're calling Sakura an abusive wife?
Yeah, it's comedy. It's like the Japanese way of doing comedy. They have women hit their men. In a comedic fashion. That's how they do it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that myself, but I wasn't a big fan in the old days when they would imply stuff like that, perverse, with men, talking about, Alice, so knock you up to the moon.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Well, it was there, but I mean, here it's constant. Look, and I realize some guys that's their fantasy, whatever. Okay, fine. It's not really something I want to see. Yeah, Well, now we're getting into Kill la Kill regalia mode, and all that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, you know what I mean. But that was what you said was finding a woman like his mother. That, of course, does fit Sakura. So that was one of the very strong points that made Narasaka make more sense. But like I say, once again, I don't think we're gonna get It's, the ending of this series, I think, is going to be startling. Because okay, we're going to Wednesdays now, Thursdays or whatever, whenever the thing finally comes out. But when it finally comes out, I think that we're going to, it's going to be like, well, we don't know this, we don't know that, we don't know this. What did this mean? What was the what was the mysteries? Like in Lost, what did they mean? So. I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling. But I think he can still. But I mean, look at the last two chapters. They were ended. Still have questions, but they did, end. So I don't know. Is there anything you guys are? What do you guys are? Let me see if I can get this out. What are you most fearful of as far as when this series is over? What is it that you really want to know that you're afraid you're not going to know?
I just want to know. Okay.
You go ahead.
I just want to know how everything turns out. Naruto revolutionizes the world with his leadership. I want to see that, and I am interested in pairings. I want to see Shikamaru with Tamari. I want to see Ino with somebody. I just like to have everything wrapped up with a nice little bow. You know what I'm saying?
I would like the pairings myself. As a matter of fact, the whole shipping thing, I still remember the first time somebody asked me or whatever, I think it was comments, I was doing, back when I was doing comment reviews, I'm like, and they're like, are you a shipper? And I'm like,
shipper?
A shipper? I'm like, what does that mean? I had to go look it up, but a shipper in anime, it's relationship. It's short for relationship.
I think it comes from like,
pairings.
Like, oh, did you get with that guy? No, that ship is sailed. Come from that expression. That ship is sailed.
Well, it was all part of the Narahina and Narasaka thing, shipping. They kind of just, so the shipping, the pairings, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I am. Narahina! I was like, holy cow! I didn't even realize that I was shipping all that whole time.
Well, see, that's one of the big questions around Naruto. I mean, it's like. When it comes down to it, like, how do you actually affect a change in the ninja world? Do you, because everyone can't go off their feelings. I mean, because feelings change, So at some point, it has to be anime creation pair bonding that helps facilitate a future.
Well, well, I would like the pair bundle. What I'm most afraid of is that we're not going to. First off, like I've said this for the last couple of weeks, you got to get rid of the chakra. It's
Yeah.
human beings can't deal with this power. It's pretty clear. It's just going to be more. It's just going to be bigger wars on a bigger scale. This chakra's got to go. It's got to go back to the tree, put it in another dimension, let it go do its whatever the hell its fruit thing is. Does a fruit expand and make another dimension? Whatever it does, go let it do it somewhere else. Right?
Yeah, and I think that seems to be the most illogical answer, because there's no. Well, wait a minute. Wasn't the tree sucked up? Was the tree sucked in? No, they cut the tree down, didn't they?
Well,
So they cut the tree down, and
yes.
Madara absorbed it, and so now as the tree stomping, his roots are everywhere. So I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure they can regrow the tree. I mean, this is all about the chakra, right? And
Right.
that's also, I thought, well, that was another thing. Since you've got all the Kages here, everybody's here, you can start doing your big stuff. And now it's just like, no, we're done. Somebody will eventually summon her out later on, and then they'll deal with it in the future. Like, what? Heck, I think that's the only way for the chain to be broken is for all the chakra to go back to the source. Because, like I said, the tree was there. It didn't bother anybody. Nobody cared. It just did its thing, and every so often it produced a piece of fruit, and that fruit did whatever the heck it did. That was it. Nobody was bothered.
Maybe someone is going to have to become immortal to stop it all, and their clones are the Kages of all the lands.
I don't know.
Indestructible clones.
Yeah, something. But like I said, that's my biggest fear, that it's just going to be, we're done. You know.
Yeah, I can't think of a way for it to end without I mean, something drastic has to happen with the tail beast, but at the same time, part of their issue was in order for society to be created in that verse, the someone had to suffer, and that someone was the tail beast and the people who were weak.
Right.
So I don't know how you're going to change that power structure.
I don't know.
The tail beast can't run free, but there's also no Uchiha around to control him.
Maybe what they could do is they could transform the tail beast into humans.
Right.
Have them just live in secret among humans, something like that.
Well, if they're unpowered,
it.
like I say, if they lose their power, then they're not. There's no reason to go capture them and try to treat them as beasts, tame them, and subjugate them. Right? They don't have power anymore. They're just people. Now,
Yeah,
what I'm afraid of. Let me just get this out. What I'm afraid of is that it's going to be like the end of Star Wars. The Death Star's blown up, and they're just on a stage, and everybody's cheering. And it just terrifies me. That's how it's going to be. That or it's going to be like a beach party thing in Fairy Tale. We're done. And we're not going to do anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's really something. It's been a crazy ride, though, hasn't it? How long have you guys been following the series, anyhow?
It was about 6-7 years now for me.
Yeah. DW Order?
2005.
2005. So we're talking 9 years, heading into 10 years. That's a crazy amount of time, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been a nice distraction,
Yeah. It's been very pleasant.
I just don't. I don't know how it's going to all be wrapped up in a little bow without in a few chapters, and I'm hoping there's more, because there's not a lot else out there that's piquing my interest right now, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it ending nicely, because with other big animes, like my go-to favorite is Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho. There was always some resolution for the character at the end, but it was always a personal resolution. It wasn't about changing the entire world. It was like the character grew up, or they reached a point where they didn't need to fight anymore because they won the last battle. And Naruto isn't it unless Naruto may not be just like that yet, but unless people in the verse decide to put down ninjutsu and follow Ninshu, where they share chakra, which could be possible because a lot of the warriors, at least, have all felt Naruto's chakra.
Well, I mean,
The only problem with that, though, is that if they decide to do that, then Sasuke loses his meaning to fight Naruto. Because Sasuke wants to fight Naruto to kill the Tail Beasts because they're a danger, right?
Right.
So if they're no longer a danger and everybody loses their chakra and there's nothing to worry about, then we won't get to see the fight between Naruto and Sasuke. So that fight has to come first. And that's why I don't really see that solution with everybody losing chakra being a result of the fight.
Do you still think it's possible that the fight happens?
well, just to throw it in, okay, there's a movie that's a time skip in the future, and I'm assuming they still have chakra, right?
Oh, in the last.
I guess the last movie or whatever, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means, so that's yet another way, that things aren't resolved, even just showing this movie.
Yeah, so I think most of the questions I have are going to be answered by a time skip.
And thank you. That's a good segue. What do you think the odds are? 10 being the most, 1 being, or 0 being the least, that there's going to be a part 3 of Naruto.
Putting like a -3. They won't.
-3. Negative. Not going to happen.
They're not going to happen at all.
NW order.
I don't see a part 3 happening in the manga. I
Okay.
think if there's going to be any continuation, it's going to be all wrapped up in the movie or in maybe 1 or 2 movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going more Dragon Ball or something, and it'd be like Naruto Shippuden EX or something, or Naruto EX.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll go ahead and end it nicely or whatever.
Yeah,
But I don't know. 5 years from now, who knows? The money.
but yeah, this is from the standpoint that this manga is a cash cow.
Yeah.
And as popular as it is, I want to see it in, but I'm sure it can live on telling someone else's story, some way or somehow.
I'd rather them go on and do something else. To be honest, I'm just opinionating.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think is it possible for a part 3?
Well, let me put it this way: if Kishimoto was an American dealing with the American entertainment industry, well, to begin with, the series wouldn't be ending because it's still making money, right?
Right.
So, but in Japan, where they do things differently, maybe it is, and maybe he wants to do something. Maybe there's something a lot better that he has, next in it. I don't know. So.
See, but even in Japan, what they did when DBZ ended, it was part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
So when it ended, they brought a part 3 in that the original creator wasn't a part of.
Right.
And no one liked much anyway.
Right. Well, yeah. Okay.
So with that train of thought, I think it's possible it's a part 3, but Akishi may not be as involved because he already has a spin-off series, the Rock Lee Springtime of Youth deal.
It's what is it? Well, as a matter of fact, how things are different. Was it Kureno no Basketball? However you pronounce it, whatever it is. That manga, they just like this week is the end, or last week they just closed it out, right?
Kuroku no Basket?
Yeah, they ended it. They said it's either this week or next week or last week or whatever. I just heard that they're ending this series, the manga.
Was it that bad?
No, it was like the number 3 most popular in Japan.
Oh.
But my understanding is the way that it works in Japan is they almost give the anime to like Tokyo TV or whatever to play, where the companies that make the anime and or the mangas and everything make money is from the toys and stuff, which is the reason there's always a ton of it. And I'm guessing, this is just me guessing, I'm guessing that they weren't selling a lot of gear or toys, even though they were It was a very popular manga.
Oh,
I'm guessing that's the angle. So
man. Okay.
yeah, so see, it seems just this is just me from what I've just listening and hearing. It seems like it's a very different way things work as opposed to here, which here it's like they make a ton of money off of the actual stuff on TV itself. So it's just it's a different mindset.
Okay, I
But
can
like
see it.
but like I say, it explains why all these mangas why there's just tons of toys and stuff sold with these animes. It's because that's how they make their the manga artists and all that. I guess that's the main way they make their money. The companies that hire them. So anyway,
Okay.
are we about out? Have we about squeezed everything out of the tube of toothpaste, or is there anything else you guys want to talk about Naruto wise? And I will say this: when it's over, it's over. So if you got anything to throw out there, this would be the good time to do it.
Um, I don't have anything else about this week's chapter. I'd be interested to hear y'all predictions for next week.
Okay. NW order, any predictions, anything Naruto wise?
Let's say the next week we're gonna see that the tree is like gone. Everybody's freed from the tree already. Everybody's like, "Huh? What happened?" They'll be like rubbing their heads. And Sasuke is gonna make a declaration and he's gonna be like, this isn't over. I want these tail beasts destroyed for the sake of the future, or something to that effect. And there's gonna be a rift between them, and then Sasuke's gonna be like, "Then from now on, you're my enemy, and only when I defeat you, I'll become the Hokage," or something like that. And we'll have like a chapter to prepare before their fight. And either the next chapter or the chapter after that, we'll see Naruto and Sasuke get ready to fight. Because I think Kishimoto wants to end it really quick. But I'm definitely believing that Kishimoto is not going to skip over that fight. So that's what I think is going to happen. Pretty much setting up for their future fight and resolving everything further. And the Sage Six Paths is going to disappear and leave everything to them, up to Naruto and Sasuke to decide, since they're the current generation of his children.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking we're going to get a final speech from Hagoromo towards both of his descendants, like you just said, and I think we're going to be super happy for at least another 2 chapters, where they explain what happened, where the living Kages are at. One chapter, and they're resolved, and then what happened to everyone who was sucked up in the tree. And I will be interested to see Sasuke tell Beast Hunter. My question will be, where would he put the tail beast? You can't. I don't know. You can't really destroy him, can you? You can't kill him, can you?
Well, yeah. I mean, now Hagoromo may say something. He may say, "Well, we have a choice what we can do with the tailed beast," but it sounds like he already had a plan what he was going to do, and maybe that's what will happen. And Sasuke will go, "I don't agree with this plan," or something, whatever.
Yeah, see, I think that Hagoromo is just going to let Naruto and Sasuke figure it out for themselves. That's what I think, because they're the ones that inherited his son's powers, and it's like they're the ones that decide how the world is going to be. And he's just going to watch from the other side, basically.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is he stated that he was going to give them a change. That he stated what was going to happen. They were going to get called back together once again, and this and that, and he was going to give them, and they were going to have new forms. So, is that just a prediction, or is that what he's going to actually do and what he's getting ready to do? So I don't know.
Oh, but I haven't seen the new forms yet. They still look pretty much similar.
Yeah, they haven't been changed or anything. So, of course, that may be one of those things. It's just whatever. He does do that. Go, well, whatever. I'm out of here. we got to get this thing done. This manga's got to end, and we got to get the movie out and buy the gear. So I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see if they wind up becoming new forms. But
Yeah.
I kind of want. But I'm wondering what form would they be in.
What was Black Zetsu? What was his story? I mean, you know what I mean? well, like we say, all the Kaguya stuff. That wasn't. It'd been nice to spend a few, pages or something to kind of close that out and explain what was going on there. I don't know. Hope maybe we'll get an explanation. But anyway,
would have been nice to have Madara like reference Kaguya. Like, damn, who would have thought that bitch could, manipulate me? I just any kind of, acknowledgement to what happened to you, Madara. you know?
It's like a commercial. Like when you're a professional, you have a really short memory.
Yeah.
Like Kaguya, who's that?
Well, I'm surprised the first didn't kind of rib him about it. Like, wow, yeah, but I had to feel to have a set of tits, or or whatever, to give us some kind of ribbing or something like that. So you're running around in a dress, are you, Madara? So I was just shocked he didn't, give him some ribbing or something about getting turned into Kaguya. So, well, anyway, I think we're pretty much out of juice here. Like I say, last chance. Anything you guys want to throw out Naruto-wise, or otherwise we'll just close it out.
Oh, you didn't give us your prediction.
Oh, well, my hope is still that Orochimaru, that's Sasuke, and that's what's going to be the battle. But it doesn't look like it. It looks like Sasuke's got plenty of motive. He doesn't respect Naruto. He doesn't respect anybody, to be honest. And I think he's ready to the only thing is what is his motivation, right? If he's not possessed, what does he want to do? He wants to make his own village, right? Does he want to? I don't know. Like I said, the Tell Beast is a good thing. Okay, that's going to create. But I don't know what the spark's going to be. All I know is his attitude is confrontational. So
It's all about family, but he doesn't have a family. So they're gonna. I'm thinking time skip is the answer to everything now.
all right. Well, I guess that's going to be it. Well, anyway, go ahead. The last few minutes, and we'll just close it out because I think we're definitely at the end here.
But yeah, I don't have anything else. I was just saying I think that most of our answers can only be answered with time, and I'm thinking the time skip is going to fix most of my questions about.
Yeah. And I can't remember who said that. Well, I will say one thing. I can go into Hunter x Hunter mode here just for a moment. At least I have to say, at least Kishimoto kept pumping out the chapters, right?
Ooh,
well, it's true. Even though he should have taken some hiatus and got his stories squared away. But yeah, it's pretty sad. NW Order, anything before we close out?
Also, I should mention, I definitely think we'll get some chapters of, Konoha and everybody settling in the new, after everything's said and done, like, Tsunade talking to Kakashi and things like that. I'm pretty sure Kakashi, when this manga ends, will be the Hokage. And I'm sure, like in the movie, he'll be Hokage when Naruto is on a mission or something. But, yeah, so, closing thoughts, fun hangout. Always love doing these. I got a channel. On my channel, I do anime and manga reviews. I just did the Kill la Kill OVA review, so if you want to check that out, please do so. I will leave a link down below the video. And thanks for letting me be here and having a good time.
All right. We're going to close it out. Until next time. Take care.
Take care.